Hey, y'all.
Hey, welcome aboard.
How are you all doing out there? I know a little bit of, you see some differences today than normal, don't y'all?
No, it looks different to me all the time.
I bounce around. So then Michelle, y'all, we'll introduce her in a minute, but sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm at home. Tim is always in his office, so it makes it more fun that way when we're trying to figure out. Ooh, there we go. Can you hear me better now?
I can. I put earbuds in to take the.
Okay. I just got the correct microphone, and I probably should have gotten you over here so that I could get you closer to the microphone.
I will try to speak loud enough so we don't have an issue.
Okay.
Aha.
Well, y'all, this is Michelle Fritz with Stoller Wine Group. She is visiting us because what is it that you have in front of you, Tim?
Look at that.
Isn't that cool? Let me put it up again. I want to picture that.
When two people have the same drink in two different states, that's a good thing.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. It's great to meet you, Tim. It's great to be here today. So thanks to my sweet friend Gladys here. So all happy to tie in a little bit of bubbles as we celebrated National Bubble Days over the weekend.
It was this weekend, National Bubble Day?
Yes, it was. It was Saturday. So yes.
Did Stoller have an event that I missed this weekend?
No, we just celebrated it like, a birthday.
Okay.
So made everyone feel special when they walked in.
Oh, fun.
Aha.
Oh, so was there confetti involved, or is it just that's a lot of cleanup? If
We just like the bubbles that are inside the ball.
Ah, got it. Okay, that makes.
Well, I've got bubbles at my house right now. So just before we went live, I realized that the plumbing on the wall behind me is leaking. So anyway.
That is not good. For a moment when you said leaking, I was thinking, is it already flooding in Texas? Because that does happen.
No. In this case here, it is. So basically, we redid that. The bathroom is just on the other side of that wall. Okay. Is our guest bath, and we just redid everything but the tub.
Oh.
All right. However, I think the plumbing in the wall, which is 30-some years old, all right, and everything else in this house is done cheap, and they just redid the water lines outside, so they probably have a higher pressure water coming in.
Got it.
And the pipes can't.
Yeah.
What a bar.
Anyway, it's things like this that make your life fun. So, and luckily, I mean, I had, so in the last couple of weeks, if you notice, my desk was closer to the wall because I was redoing stuff on the floors. Well, luckily, I did all the stuff on the floors and moved the desk back over to this wall. Otherwise, I would be sitting in a puddle of water right now.
Oh.
And luckily, because the electronics are up in this corner on the floor to run this whole thing.
Oh, that would not have been good.
No.
Did you put towels in front of it just to make sure to keep
I have towels from here all the way back right now on the floor. And when the podcast is done tonight, all the electronics are going to come up off the floor. And I'm probably going to tear that wall apart. Which the wall is going to get torn apart anyway because there's going to be a set of cabinets that go across that wall when I'm done. So
you just didn't realize when you were going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
this over here because I need that.
Anyway, it's like everything else in our life. Life's a challenge, and you just got to learn to have fun with it.
Being nimble, isn't that the right sense?
Yeah.
As owners, that is something we have to contend with all the time. How do we stay flexible and take care of business?
Yeah.
All right.
So are we popping the cork on this thing?
Oh, I think it's a must.
Yes.
So, yes, I am a fan of this particular varietal. And the key, if I may point out, I'm going to teach you something, Tim.
Yeah.
When twisting, twist from the bottom, hold on the top.
Yep.
Oh, and you keep the. Okay,
I keep the cage on, and the quieter, the more bubbles kept. So, but nevertheless, it's deliciousness. So that's for sure. But nice job on yours, I will say. I've
got it down to a system. I have a towel that goes over it. I have
I know.
You know what I mean? I've always twisted from the bottom for a long time. I've been doing that.
I do put a towel because I don't trust that it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna fly, and I don't want it to fly.
Yeah.
So
That is another safety. There you go. So you doubled up.
yeah. All right.
It
I'm gonna.
must be because
Ooh.
of that insurance business.
You know, it could be. I'm gonna borrow because I want a picture of the bottle and the bubbles.
Right.
Normally, I have the riser, but because I'm facing this way, I don't have my normal riser. So I'm getting a different angle this time.
I do have strawberries to put into it, but I was going to wait till you told me.
Oh,
It's up to you. You know what? I am not that persnickety. This is the fun thing about wine is that we are all connoisseurs and we're all sponges in this. So we need to appreciate it. So cheers to you, to all.
Cheers.
Yeah.
No.
so I will have to talk about these strawberries. So I didn't have them last week. A friend of mine calls me on Saturday. Hey, you home? Like, yeah. Why? You want strawberries? I'm like, yeah. So how far away are you? Like 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, sure. Come on through. There was a whole flat of strawberries. Get what you want. So I started putting a few strawberries and as I get more, so I pulled a few more. Then it was like, here you go. So these strawberries were freshly picked on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I have pictures.
Mine were freshly picked from the supermarket today.
Oh, yeah. So if you want strawberries.
Oh, they're the best of the season. I can't tell you. Everybody, you just get excited when it's this time of year.
Yeah.
I am going in for this.
Yes. Are they not beautiful?
Absolutely stunning. And early this year, too.
We'll only have them for maybe another 2 weeks. Even when they're a little tart, they still have that nice.
And that's why it's such a great accompaniment with it. I mean, it just definitely aligns so well.
So tell us a little bit about this. Well, tell us about Stoller Wine and then tell us more about this sparkling wine.
Absolutely. So I'm so happy to be here. So, and it's really fun because we always talk about stories and relationships, and this is all about those that are tied in so well. So Stoller Wine Group actually goes back to the early 90s, but I can actually turn a page backwards on that as well because the farm that we have our 400 acres at Stoller actually goes back to 1943, where it was a turkey farm in the family for that long. So Bill Stoller, who is the owner, although it's a legacy now as Bill passed away a year ago. We miss him, but yet the legacy of the winery lives on. He actually went to school in Dayton, Oregon, very small little Willamette Valley town, then went to Lower Columbia Community College. And from there, he was recruited to play basketball at Pacific University. All small. And the reason I just kind of share all of this is he comes from a very humble beginning. And this is what I love about the authenticity of what we get to talk about and what we get to do. So turkey farm, he graduates. He is an entrepreneur. So I know I can speak to terms of you, Tim, and doing your business as well as Gladys. He speaks really inherently well in driving business and just being a self-sufficient, but yet driving spirit of your passion. So the winery started in 1993 with the first bottling in 2000. So we're on the 400 acres, 223 are planted. We have 101 sections with 10 different varietals. We're not the biggest, we're not the smallest, but for Stoller Family Estate, that is one of our 6 brands. And so I'm super happy. I did bring 2 today, but the one that we're going to showcase right now is definitely that Stoller Estate that is in Dayton, Oregon. Let's just say bubbles are coming back. It's one of the, and personally, I don't think they ever left. So, but it's interesting seeing how we are pivoting a lot of the wineries. I'm sure you see this and others that you're visiting.
Yeah.
It's a really refreshing, low alcohol, bright acid. Because we're in the Willamette Valley, we're protected by these amazing coastal range, and then we're protected again in the Cascade, and the Willamette Valley is just this incredible, just agricultural zone that mirrors a lot of our Burgundian friends, but nevertheless is giving us our own powerful voice.
Yep.
So this gets 93 points on Wine Enthusiast. It also gets 92 points on Decanter. I don't like getting caught up in
The scores.
numbers, but this is because it is so good. And this is our second in regards to our production of this. It is a 3-year process because we do it in a Champagné style. So a French style, we obviously can't call it champagne, hence we call it brut sparkling.
Yeah.
Nice.
So all of that is just a little bit of love in a bottle.
Very
And how many states right now are you distributing in, Michelle?
We are throughout the U.S. with exception. We do provide distribution to Utah, but Utah is one of our states that is a little bit trickier. I can't ship there. But nevertheless, we are throughout the U.S. and going into Europe and Asia.
Well, how is that? Asia, I'm not so concerned about, but the European market, with there's so many wines there, how competitive do you think you could actually be in Europe, especially like places like France and Spain that have just delicious wines?
Yeah. No, and I think it's something that they want to see comparison like we do.
Okay.
We want to compare old world versus new world. And I like that. If I'm in Europe, it's one of those things I want to try. And it's fun to compare notes and to see what those vines are producing, what the terroir is different. All of those play factors. But also there is a fascination of American wine. I have to be honest. And so having opportunities to showcase that, I think, is a great opportunity.
Nice. So I was at the winery, was it 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So one of the things that we talk about on the show is, well, one, you got to like what you drink. If you don't like it, don't drink it. Hence the podcast name, like the way you drink. But we also tell people it's about the experience. So you got to find those opportunities to experience good wine, good drink, just in general. And one of the beauties about it being at the winery, the particular one in Dayton versus the one that's a little bit closer to me that in 20 minutes I can get here, that has gorgeous views. I mean, it took me a while to get there because I have to pass a high school and traffic. But once you get there, it's like country and it's rolling hills and it's greenery and it's just gorgeous.
It's
yes. And so you get peace at the one, and then when we were at Dayton, where it was absolutely an experience, and the beauty of it's called the Experience Center. So, again, gorgeous views. I was there before for one of the releases, but tell us more about the Experience Center.
So the property itself, as I was showcasing, the Experience Center is our third building on the property. Not alone, not even, we include cottages that are there. So if you want to stay on the property, we have cottages that you can rent. But nevertheless, the Experience Center was built out of Bill's vision of making it useful for larger groups to attend, but also doing it in capitalizing on our culinary team. So we also just had our Pizza Fest where we were cooking pizzas with multiple pizza makers throughout Portland. Super fun. Pairing wines with that. In a couple weeks, we're going to be doing our barbecue pit master competition where we're going to have pit masters from all over, which I want to say 2 are from the Texas area. So they are coming to visit.
So they're coming from out of state.
Exactly. So it's super fun to showcase that space. It's definitely welcoming. It's not ostentatious, but we have audio visual, we have small boardrooms, you have outdoor space. We actually utilize some of the vineyards and it makes you feel like you're in the middle of it. So you look around and it's vines surrounding you, and it's one of my most favorite places.
It is beautiful. They have benches out there and
Adirondack chairs, and there's music being piped out, and we do have some concerts there, so we have that opportunity too. Just all around, it's a family-friendly, business-oriented, but yet comfortable surroundings. If you want to be comfortable, I think sometimes wineries get that bouginess. We're not like that. We're just very welcoming to all.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we
Great.
did for Michelle, for my 50th birthday, my wife went to Napa. We went to Napa, and we did a whole limo ride to several different locations. And she was trying to pick things because family was coming and everything. And the one we went to that I will probably never go back to, and I'm not saying that bad, it was just all, to me, it was all show.
oh,
And that was Shandong Winery. Really, it's all show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they have an okay product, but I wasn't impressed with the product as much as the grounds.
Yeah.
Right. Our favorite winery in Napa, all right, is called Saddleback. You go there, all right, and you go inside a room full of barrels to do your tasting, or you sit out underneath picnic tables to do your tasting. It's not a fancy place, but it has great wines, and the winemaker puts an art to it. All right. And I've got pictures of me doing like the mashing or something like that with the grapes
how fun.
one time when I was there. It's just always been a favorite of ours. So, you know, sometimes you go to these places that create these great experiences, and they should probably put more into the wine, extend the experience. When you have an event place called The Experience and you have a taste that matches, now that's a rarity. You can't find both together.
We try. If I can do a little shout out, we
Yes.
have been one of the top 10 tasting rooms in the US, according to USA Today, for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Wow. That's
So,
awesome.
Like saying, we walk the talk. We want to make sure that our wine is good and approachable, price point wise too. I
Yeah.
think that's the other aspect, is that Bill wanted a wine that is going to be for families. It's not going to break the bank. And I think even to this day, we stay true to that.
Yeah.
And then it's just, we definitely make it a fun time for all and find it, we want the takeaway that they come away going, I actually learned something, or I felt, like I was part of the family, because family is part of that middle name. But it's just having that relationship is key.
And it's kind of fun because the where the experience center is, the road is down here, and you look up to the experience center. I mean, it's on the hill, but it doesn't feel like you're on a hill. And there's a distillery that's across the way from it, and they get the barrels from Stoller to barrel their whiskey.
Yeah.
And when I went to that distillery with my Women Who Whiskey in Salem. One of the ladies scheduled that we were there, and they're like, oh yeah, we get the barrels. And they kind of looked out and pointed from Stoller and pointed and it was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So keeping it local, keeping it family, keeping it community, and having a good product that others want to be associated with. That's the other thing, is that association of our whiskey in their barrels. And that was kind of special, back then.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
I have to say that. And it's just being innovative with neighbors.
Yeah.
So, and being supportive that way. That's another key aspect that I think that we try to provide.
I think I might have mentioned it before. It was before my mom passed away. So it was probably 2013, 2014. Of course, Mom went everywhere, wherever I went. So we had gone to, and I was a wine club member, which I didn't even remember I was a wine club member. And I hadn't been back to any of the Stoller family wine groups. So I went with Michelle because we were having a business meeting, if you will. And one of the servers, I looked at him because he looked so familiar. And he looked at me like, it's like when you look at somebody that you're like, I think I know this person, but you're not sure. And it's so.
Don't say it was an ex-boyfriend.
It was not.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there, guys.
You look familiar. Did I date you? My goodness, that. So it was like we were, he was taking care of multiple people, and then. At like tasting number 3, he stops and he says, by any chance, did you have a mom that was a little bit? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, and then you brought her, and he actually helped me move my mom from one area to another. I had to move her, and he helped me because, of course, I'm yeah. And I was
because I was worried. I was worried this was going that he dated your mom. Like now I was really getting worried. You know, the story can get bizarre when alcohol comes out. Hey, you gotta like the way you drink, guys.
But he remembered my mom,
Mm-hmm.
remembered me, remembered us being there, remembered serving us, remembered that I was a wine club member, and then because I wanted a bottle of wine, he found me in the system.
Dave.
Oh, wow.
It's Dave.
He found me. I didn't tell him my name. Mind you, it's like, yes, it was like everything blended. But because I was having the meeting with Michelle, it was kind of you place attention. And it was like, then he threw me off that I was like, I couldn't believe he remembered. And I still hadn't told him my name. But when I was leaving, he found me in the system.
He's great.
It was like, oh my goodness. It was a completely different location. Mm-hmm. My mom wasn't there because she passed away 2015, but it was that he remembered us, remembered me, but then once he associated me with my mom, then it was like, then everything, I guess, in his mind flooded back and he remembered. But that made me feel very special. That made me feel like, oh my goodness, they're truly paying attention. They're truly engaged with the community, not just serving to serve, but they're serving to take care of people. Yeah. And that was so special. And Michelle got to be a part of that experience for me to have been remembered. And then, of course, then I was like, Mom, you know.
I know firsthand. No, it's great. Yeah. And it just happened again today. I was sitting with a client. He's talking to our server and he's looking at like, not everybody has that name. And he goes, by chance, can I ask where you're from? My client's from Hawaii. He is also from Oahu. He actually was taught basketball with the person I was sitting with. Mm. And I'm sitting there going, how is this possible? You know, and I do think it's about experiences. It's about relationships. And he remembered parents, and he was just so proud of where he is today and how he's taking the initiative to learn about wine and something that's not traditional in Hawaii, right. But yet it happens more than often. But when it does and you see it, you just have to embrace those moments. So it's fun.
Well, I mean, our Michelle, we have a wine rack, and I don't have it in the office. I have it in my bedroom right now because it just doesn't fit in here. But it fits about 150 bottles of wine. And we built it because we started traveling. When Gwen and I met in 2009, we started traveling to wineries. And 2011, my father-in-law built this rack to be able to fit all the wine we were bringing home, because we learned that we go out and you do a wine tasting and you remember that experience at that winery. So you buy the wine, and then every time you open that bottle of wine, you now get to go back to that memory.
Yeah.
Right. It is not, you know, because you could go to the store and buy wine. But now we have a rack full of wine that you just can't go to the store and buy. It comes from an experience. I've got a bottle on my shelf from the year Gwen and I got married in 2012 that we recently looked up. I think it's worth $2,500 now because we haven't cracked it open. And it's from our favorite winery, and it was a 25 anniversary edition bottle. But that's because we were able to taste it in 2012. Right. So we bought a bottle of it, and we just have to go, we're gonna save this. We're gonna save this. We're gonna save this.
So now are you gonna sell it and go on vacation?
We may have to sell it to pay for a plumbing problem, but I have a problem though selling my wine to pay for something. I'd rather drink my wine than to sell my wine. Truthfully,
But you have a wall.
It's about the experience.
Yeah, you have a wall of memories, Tim. That's what's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, to me, again, you know, most people, every time I go to the store every weekend, there's somebody there doing a tasting.
Right.
I love the tastings at the store, and we shop here in Texas. Is a place called HEB, and they provide great tastings every week, right? But nothing beats, as I told you, Saddleback Winery. I can tell you how many times I sat out on those picnic tables underneath those trees, and the sommelier come out and he's pouring something different and talking to us. You know what I mean? And there's not some nice, charcuterie dish like we have here tonight, or we have on our show. No, it's, whatever they're serving that week that they got at Costco or whatever to go with their wine.
Yeah.
And that experience on those picnic tables, I would go back a million times. All right. And I've gotten to experience some great wineries over the years. One of them that I got to experience and I got pictures of in 2013 was the guy who created the winery. I followed him in the self-help industry when he taught real estate in the self-help industry.
Okay.
And like, I learned a key thing from him. And then I go to his winery and here he is walking out. So I get a picture with him. This guy who gave me this key, that's a success key that I use in my life for almost 40 years. And now I get to meet him at his winery. Well, of course I'm going to buy wine there, right? Their thing was they store their wine in clay pots. And each one of us has a different. Are you still there? Did you blink out on me? Your camera went. Uh-oh, I think I may have lost Gladys tonight. Hopefully it's not my internet, it's hers. Yep, she will be back. Hey guys, so tonight we're experiencing Stoller wine. All right, and here we go. We're gonna bring them back in here. There, you back?
We're still here.
We're still here.
We're still here.
All right. But experiences, all right. You've got to have good experiences with everything you do. All right. And it's great to have someone come on here and do a tasting with us, but there's no experience to it. You know what I mean? And that's what we were hoping you had when you could tell us about your experience.
Well, and I think the fun thing about it is maybe learning a little bit about, Brute itself.
Ooh,
But
yes.
then it's also, let's just talk about how, like you were hinting at, Tim, it's about these moments that we have in life. And I think wine gets right now we're at a really interesting time where people are not drinking as much,
Right.
but yet for wine and wine drinkers, it's not about the quantity. It is about the quality.
Oh, yeah.
About the quality of the experience. It's about the quality of the wine. And again, all of those play a factor in it. And I was asked, I had a really good question. Today was what I call my college day. So I had a couple different universities that we collaborate on alumni status. But one of their recent graduates had a really good question. They're going, how are you enticing me to come to the winery?
Oh, that's a great question.
And I was like on my toes going, okay, this one's making me work for it. I like it. And quite honestly, because I knew I was coming on today and we're talking about this, it still is true. I don't care how old you are. It is about having that moment and appreciating that moment. It can be raining sideways. It can be sunny. You're going to remember the people that you had quality conversations with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe share a few giggles, maybe take away something that you didn't know about the historical perspective of the wine maybe that day, or it's just the flavor profile of it. I mean, there's so many. I am literally a sponge in this industry because it constantly is evolutional, because Mother Nature is not the same year over year.
Right.
We may have drought, weather is changing. We may have a wet frost or something of that accord that Mother Nature goes, hey, you haven't played with this one for a while. Let's see what it looks like.
It's what it does to your grapes this year.
So our viticultural team, flips on a dime. And then our winemaking team, when harvest happens, that's another opportunity to make adjustments. It's just in our work plans. We always have to be nimble. We have to adapt. You may have water coming in your wall. And guess what? You may have to make a little adjustment earlier than anticipated. But do you like how I got it back? That was
yeah, I like how you got back to that. So, well, I mean, and that's so Michelle, that's how Gladys and I met over this. Was an experience of someone saying to us who we're in his mastermind. He says, "You two are into whiskey. You should be friends." And it was less than 24 hours. We were planning a podcast on talking about drinking.
I love it.
In less than 24 hours.
Yeah, we started. He was talking about moonshine. I was talking about whiskey, and then the next day, truly, we were in the. We've said this on air. We were in the back of the country club exchanging. I brought you this, and I brought you this.
Yeah.
Here we are tasting the back of the country club, tasting things, and it's like, no, you keep it. I can get more of that, and it it was just so much fun. And then we were talking about, because he knew that I wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't have the technical aspects, which Tim absolutely does. And so he goes, if you want to do it on your own, that's okay. He goes, and I'm like, no, I'm like, if I keep talking about it, I'm not going to do it. I need somebody to help me with it. So we started in the craziest my time of year. But we gave us enough time to get ready for it. But then it was like, if we would have pushed it off, it would not have happened.
Yeah.
So, and here we are, how many years later? 3 years later?
We're about 4 or 5, almost 5 years in now. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, taking those opportunities.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because that day that we did that, all right, she got to taste some of the last I had of my backwoods moonshine.
Yes. Oh, that was.
I don't have access to get that anymore like I did, and yeah. Anyway, but it's because I want to meet the person who's making it, not just go to the store and buy it off the shelf. Now, I do have a bottle of Brut in my refrigerator, chilled at all times, and we started doing that in 2014. And I'll tell you the story behind it is. In 2014, my father-in-law passed, and we found out in the middle of the night. So basically, my wife and my father-in-law had just come back from Belgium. They were back less than 48 hours. My father-in-law wanted to take a trip and go down to Austin, Texas, where he used to go to visit this park all the time, and it was the park where him and my mother-in-law dated when they were dating many, like 67, 70 years ago now. And he went down to visit it on a regular basis. Well, he went down. He said, basically, I'm going down to the park. I will see you guys tomorrow. And he never came back. He passed away in that park. And we had a police knock on the door at 10:30 at night to tell us. And we realized we had no champagne in the house. I literally had to run out to find a store open to get a bottle of champagne so that we could toast him. And that's the thing with us. It's like we don't. Yes, we mourn, but we celebrate their life, right? And it's a toast. So, I mean, ever since then, we have kept a bottle of champagne, a bottle of bubbly, a bottle of Brut, whatever it might be, is always, there's one combination of it somewhere in our house, and it's almost always chilled. And it is there specifically for that reason. We get a good contract, you celebrate. You get you have a good podcast, you celebrate. And to me, this is celebration wine. This is not mourning wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you look at life. And I was blessed to have, a dad who believed he was a baseball coach for 60 years in Oregon, kind of a pretty stellar. And what I love about it is that my dad had, kind of on your story about celebrating life, my dad had a card. I probably have one in my bag right now.
Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Thanks for sharing, Lauren.
And
it's called the I Believe card.
Okay.
So this I Believe card is.
Hey, hold that up close to the camera, Gladys, so our listeners can see that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And so my dad was the baseball coach at Lewis and Clark College. And basically, this was kind of a staple, and this is what we always celebrated, that I'm going to believe in myself, I'm going to believe in my teammates, I'm going to believe something good is going to happen, and I believe that through hard work, we will achieve a success. Again, 4 pillars. But yet, as you celebrate with that, I truly have a bottle always in the fridge, because I never know, a girlfriend will stop over, someone's going to say, oh, guess what, we got engaged. Hint to some son that could be paying attention. Nevertheless, you never know when those moments are going to happen. So I totally resonate when moments, as you work hard, you play hard, and you share those good moments. And I just think this for me is who I am. But I think as we celebrate each other, you just kind of have to, realize that this is good stuff. This is stuff that is going to make memories.
Yeah.
And you're going to celebrate those moments of, this incredible father-in-law that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, Oregon the first time for wine tasting, because I'd been up here for work. And one of my friends, the one that got me into wine tasting, doing tasting along the Russian River. That's in the Sonoma area of Northern California. But she said, I want to come to Oregon. And I was living in Southern California. She's living in Northern California. So I flew from Southern California to San Jose, met at the airport, like inside the airport, and then caught our next flight together. We got the smallest vehicle that was, I don't know, like $14 or $17 a day. Did not have the automatic on off. We actually had to put the key in the vehicle to unlock it and lock it. So we'd go chirp, chirp. We were doing the chirp, chirp. Smallest thing. We're going up some hill somewhere in Newburgh, I guess. And we're like, come on, Betsy, you can do this. And we're like, is this car going up this dirt road, dirt, gravel, whatever? And then you find this little winery that's just tucked away. And we're like, okay, well, we made it up. That's a good thing. Now are we going to make it down, or are we going to slide over? It was such an experience to do it with her in winter, because it was still winter here in Oregon. I can't remember the month, but it was still winter. I remember beanie, scarf. We're like bundled up, and then getting yelled at when I tried to pump my own gas. So buying an Old Maid game and then going back to the hotel and playing Old Maid while we munched on the charcuterie that we had put together. It was just such an experience. So that was like my first wine tasting experience in Oregon, 2001.
Wow.
2001. And so wine can have so many experiences. And then, of course, moving here and being around Stoller, it just, and being remembered, another experience, so you just keep making experiences at wineries, which makes it kind of fun.
Well, it's funny because the way I got into wine is Chehalem, which is one of our sister wineries under our brand. They make, to this day still, it's called Enox, and it's an unoaked Chardonnay. So I'm a fan of unoaked, and there's something just crisp, the acid, it goes well with so many, because my little trick of the trade is that you pair wines like with likes. So if the wine is lighter, with lighter foods. If the food is heavier, you pair it with a heavier varietal. So it's kind of my little trick. But nevertheless, I fell in love, and ironically, it was a woman in a Safeway, and she knew my palate, and she's just like, so I need you to try this. And I'm like, okay, because I would always chit chat her up. And I go, okay, where is this? She goes, it's in Newburgh. And I go, like, Oregon? And she goes, yes. And I'm like, okay. So that weekend, my husband and I made a trip, and the tasting room was as big as my thumb. It was the smallest thing possible. And I remember there was a band playing, in a 3-piece band playing in the corner. Dave, who helped you, was behind the counter. He was chatty Cathy, making you feel like you were the only person in the room. And I'm like, I love it. I don't get it. And it got me addicted into wine, not in a bad way. But nevertheless, it was just one of those moments that I'm like, everyone has that memory.
Yes.
And so it's kind of interesting. So, Tim, what's yours? How did you get turned on into wine?
So it would have to be when my 2012, my wife first. Oh, here you guys are clicking out on me again. I'm sure you'll click back here in a minute, Gladys. You coming back? Are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it? You're gonna do it? You're gonna do it? I know you're gonna do it. Come on.
We're here. I promise we're here.
Okay.
We just got so much fire going on here.
I know. Well, it happens sometimes with our connections. But anyway, so 2012, my wife and I got married, and she decided to take me. We decided to do our honeymoon about 4 months after our wedding.
Oh, fun.
We decided to go to Napa for the first time together, and we went to different wineries to taste. And I think that was the first time I ever got into the idea of going out to tastings.
Huh.
Now, I had done wine tastings before in a wine store that we had here in Dallas. It was like a huge wine supermarket type thing. And one of our friends offered it to all of us who were leaders in a certain self-help seminar. as a gift. We all got to go to a wine tasting at this thing. And it wasn't the same as going with my wife and going from place to place to place to place. So, and I can remember, like, she took me to Saddleback, which has become our favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you some other ones that we visited over the years that still have memories to me. I remember, oh gosh, now I can't remember the name of it, but we went to it because we took the train ride, and they said we went the Napa train where you tasted on.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you went to different wineries afterwards, and one of them offered an experience where you can come back and mix your own blend.
Okay.
That was in 2013, and my father-in-law and I went back and mixed our own blends. All right, and I remember because we opened his blend after he passed away because he had a bottle of it there.
Okay.
We opened his, but we have pictures of the two of us, with our own bottles of wine. Of course, me being in marketing, I spent more time trying to design the label than I did making the wine. I'm a marketing guy.
It's hard. It's hard though. Finding that profile that that's going to have ageability. That's why I look at our winemakers who are they're chemists. And almost all of our winemaking team are chemists or of science trained. And that just speaks well to what they produce. So
it's those experiences though. That's what made it all right. And I think that my wife got me into going out to wine tastings.
Okay.
And I think that's part of it had I gone to a wine tasting, no big deal. Again, I'm a guy who had mason jars of backwoods moonshine because that's what I liked. And I'm not talking like your apple pie moonshine. I'm talking real hardcore moonshine. That was what I liked.
I got some of that.
Yeah. Well, you had some of it because
of Tim.
Oh my God.
So Tim had some that actually, shall I say, the TV show Moonshiners.
Yes.
One of the guys on that show, not saying who, and I'm not saying how I got it, but the stuff that they mixed in the woods on that show, I had, and I used the last of it with Gladys. But I've learned over the years is making an experience out of it. It's one of the reasons why we have food with our thing. And I know when I asked Gladys this morning, what are we supposed to taste with this? So as you see, I went and got some seafood.
Nice job.
Got some crab cakes and some real salmon here.
Oh, nice.
So I make food with it, and it's what matters with it, right? And I got to say, one of the most unique experiences was the first show that Gladys and I did together. I think we spent probably $150 each on food to taste two different kinds of vodka with, right? I think we spent a total of $26 on vodka, but $150 in food. Because we didn't know what our show was going to be, but we wanted to make it an experience.
Yeah.
We didn't just want to taste alcohol. We wanted an experience online. And we're not the most famous podcast out there, but we have a shitload of fun doing it.
I love it. Well, try this next time when you're popping it open, whatever time of the day. I am a fan of popcorn with wine. So if you wanted to do different flavor comparisons with your wine or your bubbles, I got a cheat sheet. I will send it to you.
Gladys, we're going to have to do a show on popcorn and wine.
Well, the funny thing is that she told me popcorn, and I usually have popcorn, and I'm like, why do I not have popcorn? And then I realized that the last box of popcorn, because it was an organic, blah, 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 I gave it to somebody that was like, oh, I don't eat popcorn because of all. I go, here's an organic one that I got through Melaleuca. And so I had no popcorn. Otherwise, I would have had popcorn and I would have put it in a bag and I would have gone, here's popcorn.
If you had said anything else, chocolate and wine, we've done it. Shrimp and wine, we've done it. Sushi and wine, we've done it. Popcorn and wine, that's something we have never done in 4 years of a podcast.
Kind of liking that. So yes, your herbaceousness to your caramel, to just your salt and butter, to a spicier one, to adding some like Asian flavors to your popcorn. I mean, there's so many different, but I think that those little selective ones that you make, that you're looking with a Pinot, or you're looking to a Chardonnay, or you're looking to an Aligote, or you're looking to a Riesling, to looking to bubbles. There's so many fun ways to kind of explore that without feeling maybe needing to spend $120 on food.
It was good food.
No.
We ate it. What did we eat it?
I'm not saying it's that. Don't get me on that.
No, it was good, and I think we ate 90% of the food on the podcast. Just to be honest, we did. We experienced it, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you talk about experiences now. Like my wife and I, we go into like the Italian joint, which you've been to us with us, Gladys Laristica. We've learned to ask the staff. So with this recipe, what wine would you recommend? I mean, to me, a good staff member in a restaurant should know what they've got going on and know exactly what to recommend in their, that's in their wine rack. All right. And if and Gladys, I don't know, have you ever gone to a restaurant where they didn't recommend a good wine? They recommended a so-so?
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of, you get the present without a bow.
Yeah.
You're like,
Where's the
okay,
bow?
where's the finished package here?
But
But
make it look pretty. You gotta, it's gotta flow. And that's what we do. Like today I had the strawberries with cheese, base Tillamook local. Again, you know me, if I can bring in anything Oregon, I will. So it was Oregon grown strawberries with Tillamook cheese. So this was local. And then I had this.
Wait a minute. I have Texas strawberries with HEB, Texas HEB cream cheese.
Oh,
If you've ever met two people who are about their state, it's Gladys and me.
I died.
Tillamook original cream cheese, Tillamook cheddar cheese.
Oh my gosh. We can actually say the salmon could be from here too. We could go out.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say that because I've got two types of salmon, and I'm betting my salmon came from you more than it came from us. So, all right, you back? We're getting you skipping in and out tonight, Gladys. I love it.
I know. I don't know why. Every so often it does that, and I don't understand why. Hopefully you can hear me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
We're here. The camera seems to be on, but it is not. Oh, you know what? It's probably, did the integrate it? Yeah, I did. I don't understand why it keeps, unless I did something to touch the other, let me see if it's plugged in, the other camera.
So one of the things with Tim's expertise is Gladys has been to Texas, but Tim has not been to Oregon in 15 years.
Well,
If Tim
now
ever goes to
you
Oregon,
have
he's going to wire that. He's going to wire that place for a podcast.
That's what he keeps telling me. I don't know why he keeps telling me that, but one of these days, yeah, my camera is no longer. I don't know why it's not. You know what? I'm going to plug it in a different spot. Oh no, because then I'll unplug that.
Well,
Our voices.
Yeah, you can hear us so long as you can
you
hear.
can hear us. So, like my podcast studio, so you know, guys, it is. I actually have a hardwired computer. I don't have a laptop, and I'm like a hardwired station wired in through cables with 3 screens, a big old hard drive, and everything, because I set this up in 2020. I set up this podcast type setup to be able to broadcast from my house, and that was the beginning of the pandemic, where people were starting to do a lot more talks from home. Whereas most people like Gladys, she's doing meetings from her laptop. She's not doing, I probably do 7 to 10 talks a week, meetings online. So
Yeah, let me tell you, Tim. So one of the ways when I was talking about being nimble and having experiences, since that's our topic of conversation today, we started doing virtual tastings. And it was one of our successes that I still, 5 years later, still do. So I have clients that will do Zoom meetings and doing introductory I'm going to tell you about my business. What they do is that they sell, I send them a package that you similarly received, and the customer gets.
Oh, you went out, Gladys. Gladys, the mute button hit on your microphone. All right, you're back.
All right. So basically, the bottom line is virtual tastings are strong today. They still happen. Oh, look at you.
Tim's gonna show it. Okay, please ignore the dust because Tim's been renovating his house.
Got it.
But
Nice job.
this is the box that was sent to me from Stoller so that we can do the show.
Yeah.
All right,
Hold it,
and then
hold it right there because I'm going to take a picture of you.
all right,
Perfect. Thank you.
all right. So then I open it, and there's 2 bottles in. One would be the Brut that I'm actually sharing tonight, which I pulled out and chilled earlier this afternoon, and a Pinot Noir, which personally I'm going to tell you, and this is just Michelle, this is just me. I'm probably going to wait to some night where I can do a pork, something with pork to have that Pinot Noir.
I agree. You can do that with chicken. You can do that with salmon.
Mm.
I'll let you know that too. But I think pork is going to be an excellent, excellent choice.
So I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it. I'm not setting it on my floor because I don't know what's going to be wet here in 20 minutes.
Exactly. But that's one of the things that still lives to today is that we do these virtual tastings. And I have 20 minutes to talk about about the wines, how we compare it with certain foods, and enjoy. If you want to talk to me later, let's connect. It's awesome. I love it. But I guess I'm a people person too, so that probably could be an issue.
You've got to be in that business. And I recall when Gwen and I went on our honeymoon / anniversary thing, and back in 2012, when we were on the plane, one of the flight attendants used to work at a winery in Napa, and she said, "You got to go visit this winery." I don't remember which one it was. She got to go visit it because this is what they do there, and this is who they are. Because she used to work there, and she was part of the experience. Well, on the airplane, because of the fact that we were on our way to our honeymoon / whatever you want to call it at the time, 6 months into our wedding, our being married, we were looking for an experience. She started to give us an experience on the plane,
Really?
right? And that's where it starts. You know what I mean? It's those people who are able to go create the experience are the ones who are going to sell a wine. They are.
He is charged. I'll be honest. My husband will probably say by the time you enter an elevator to the time you exit the elevator, you will have told someone who you are, where you're at, what they do, what entices them, and how you're going to invite them to Stoller. I said, yep, that's me in a nutshell. Guilty as charged. But I would say the same to you. I would love doing a podcast from the winery, having that as the backdrop, but actually getting the perspective and maybe a little bit more deep dive into different varietals that we produce. Super fun.
Well, that segments into something we have to cover. I'm going to do it, Gladys. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not gone to our website, likethewayyouDrink.com, and joined what we currently are called our Insiders Club. We may rebrand it. We don't know. But that's the type of experiences we're trying to create. When you're in the Insiders Club, you get to come with us. We send an invite out when we do a tasting at someplace like Stoller Wine, and you get to come with us. That is put out to people who we know are 21 and over. I'm sorry, you must be 21 to join this club. All right. You pay the expenses and everything to get there, but you get the invite to come to the club. All right. And at the club, we will actually be part of the experience with us. So thank you for that wonderful open up there for us, Michelle, to be able to share that to us.
Yeah, I love it. Nicely done.
Well, this is Michelle Fritz. She's the hostess with the mostest. In case y'all didn't already know. I should, yeah. And she does, next time I think I'm going to pull out the Oye wine.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of different things that she does for nonprofits, for networking organizations. Stoller is finding new ways to really get into the businesses and communities. I've thrown a few ideas, into Michelle's ear. Can we do this? She goes, give me time. We're working on it. I'm like, all right, because I want to do this, and so there's a lot of good things that Stoller is doing for the community.
Yeah, so it's fun to be a part of an organization where you can have events, you can make your own custom label, hint, hint. That's another opportunity that we can offer. We can definitely provide you experiences like this, doing virtual world. But one of the main concerns too is if there are nonprofits that you are passionate about. I'm proud to say that we partner with over 650 nonprofits every year. And that being said, that is both locally, nationally, regionally, you name it. I'm happy to make connections with you. And we do great offerings from cottage stays to our wine and special pricing. So it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tee up on that.
No, absolutely. Well, they took care of my Rotary Club of Wilsonville for our Heart of Gold, our only fundraiser that we have in the year, or our major fundraiser, if you will. And Stoller Wine just gave us great prices. And if I had gone out to get any level of wine at this caliber, it would have been 2 to 3 times as more. Or if I would have done anything less, it would have been lesser quality wines. And I'm like, and if I don't have to go out and try to figure it out, and here I got permission, it's like she delivered everything. And I'm like, everybody loved the wine. Last year, it was a lot of wine was left on the table. This year, we ran out of wine. I think that's a good problem.
I period that.
Yeah.
So that's great.
So
yeah.
So thank you, Michelle, for being here. Tell us your elevator speech. We were
and please give us your website, Michelle, so our listeners can find you on website if they're online.
100%, and happy to foster any conversations that are left from this. Happy to follow up too. If you are looking for a winery that makes you feel like you are part of that family,
right into the camera, because we want everybody listening to hear you and see you.
You're the shining point. We're that place to make you feel comfortable. We want to make sure that you find a memory that you can take home, but find a relationship that's just not transactional. It's something that will be on that wine wall of memories, as Tim was sharing. And that is, I think, the key aspect is we want to be authentically Oregon. And I think we nail that in so many different ways, but we want to make sure that you, the customer, is number one. So if you need to get in contact, you can look on our website, which is stollerfamilyestate.com. You can bring down the About column. You'll see my face on there. You can click it. Guess what? You can find me on the email there. But also, Gladys has my email should you have opportunities to discuss about other options that are out there. But you know what? Wine is to be shared. And I love having this moment to be with both of you and highlighting what relationships all look about, what experiences within those relationships, how they evolve. And I hope that we can entice some folks to take a visit and see what we're all about.
Thank you for being with us today.
I appreciate you.
Cool. Yes, it was great, Michelle. I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you sharing your wine with me and shipping me out some to have an experience here in Texas. While I am not there in Oregon, I got to experience Oregon today, and I appreciate that. So as usual, one of the things we kind of do on our show is we actually share usually what food we're having. I had strawberries with it. I had some smoked salmon with cream cheese on crackers, shrimp cocktail, a little bit of salmon and crab cakes. Strawberries were like kick ass with your bubbly.
I love it.
Really kick ass. The strawberries were. So
the acid shined. That was a good thing.
So
I
don't know what Gladys had, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I had the same thing. Cheddar cheese and strawberries, Oregon grown, of course. I had the smoked salmon with bagel cream cheese, Tillamook, local, of course. I did not do the shrimp cocktail the way I was going to do it because I ran out of a few things, including my horseradish. But I did have peeling each shrimp. So that went very well. But yes, the cheese and the strawberries were on point with this bubbly. Absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you, this is probably the first time that I drank half the bottle on a podcast. All right. But most people know on the podcast that I have a very high tolerance. All right. So there's certain whiskeys that I don't have a tolerance. I could drink half the bottle, but there's certain ones I can drink half the bottle and still be the sane one in the conversation. Gladys has seen me push the limit quite a bit over the years. So, yeah. Anyway, the last thing we're going to do here with our show tonight, we're at 1 hour, which usually we do a little bit shorter, is, ladies and gentlemen, our show every week is brought to you by Gladys and I's businesses. We pay the bills around here, so we're able to do this show and have a fun time doing it every week. And we appreciate it, you coming by. So with that being said, though, we're going to do a quick commercial about our business. We don't do it. We don't apologize for that. We do it proudly because our businesses are what actually funds our lifestyles. So with that being said, Gladys, why don't you go ahead and tell them about your business?
Thank you, Tim. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I help you become employer of choice through employee benefits. There are 101 different ways that you can show your employees how much you care about them. If you go to Insurance Design Pros, on the upper left-hand corner, you can get the white paper that you can download and get the 101 different ways that you can provide those benefits. However, if you want to have the conversation and see how do you implement those benefits, go to enrollnoworegon.com, and that is my calendar link. We will start the conversation. If there is something I cannot do, if you're in a different state, guess what? I probably know somebody in that state that can help you. That's enrollnoworegon.com. I'm Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, and this is my co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Gillette. Simple Easy Websites is my business. I actually build websites for the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, all right, and a small business person anywhere in America. We're American sites. We're American made, American employees. Everything we do is to help the American businessman and the American entrepreneur. We build websites that generate you leads. There are 3 types of websites that you build. One that gets you brand recognition, one that makes you sales, and one that actually builds leads for your business. We are specializing in building you leads to actually help you get new business in the next coming few months. You want to find out more, have a conversation with me, go to simpleeasywebsites.com, book a simple consultation. We'll go over your current website, your business plan of how to make it work and how we can improve it. I'm Tim Gillette, and I thank you guys for coming in today. All right, Gladys, that's it. All right. Should we let you do one more shout out there? All right. For Miss Michelle as to what she's going to tell us about her business. One more time, Michelle.
Oh my gosh. It's all about having a wonderful experience in the Willamette Valley. But what that really entices and how I can engage with you is having that personal experience. So if you're looking to find a relationship with a customer, if you're looking for a nonprofit to find an engaging opportunity on how you can enlighten that in auctions or galas, I'm your person to get a ring to. I love opportunities that are not just a one-stop. You're going to be, basically, you're going to have me as your friend as well. So I appreciate this moment. I appreciate you learning a little bit about Stoller. But what this is all about is I look forward to doing this again.
Cool.
We got another wine that Tim needs to taste. So.
That's so true.
Yeah, we still have another one here there that Tim's got to open. So anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.